Joshua's odd neighbor. Joshua sat in the window seat of the third floor of his house. It was his favorite place to read and think. But, he had to admit, it was also the perfect place to spy on his rather odd neighbor, Mr. Benjamin Franklin. Joshua knew this wasn't a nice thing to do, but Mr. Ben Franklin was always up to something, and it was always so interesting. Just then, heavy rain began to pelt the window. Too bad, Joshua thought as he looked up at the dark clouds. I don't suppose my neighbor will be outside in this storm. Suddenly, Joshua saw the back door fly open. Mr. Franklin, along with his son William, ran out onto the lawn. Mr. Franklin was holding a kite. They're going to fly a kite? In this weather? Thought Joshua. He pressed his nose even closer to the window and looked down onto his neighbor's backyard. And that's when Ben Franklin saw the boy. He gave a wave and made a motion for him to open up his window. "Hello, Joshua," shouted Ben Franklin above the howl of the wind. Joshua waved back, feeling ashamed that he had been caught spying. "Prepare to see history," Mr. Franklin shouted over the rumble of thunder. "It is my belief that lightning is no more than electricity. I hope to prove it today when lightning strikes the key on my kite." Joshua saw the kite fly as high as the treetops, trailing a silk tail. Attached to the kite string was a metal key. Suddenly, the sky lit up in a blazing flash of lightning. Mr. Franklin quickly pulled down the kite. "When I touch the key," he shouted, "I should feel an electric shock. This will prove that lightning is electrical." Joshua was certain that his mouth was hanging open as Mr. Franklin grabbed the key. The man winced and quickly dropped it. "It's true! My experiment is a success!" shouted Ben Franklin. Just as quickly as they had run outside, Mr. Franklin and his son ran back into the house. Joshua sat, shaking his head, wondering if he had really just witnessed history, as his neighbor had said.